All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 3 of our new coach training. So we've gone over just how to navigate the back office, how to kind of navigate some of the apps that we have at our disposal on our phones, and then also the vital behaviors. And so before we get into like action steps, which I know is what you guys are looking for, before we do that, we need to figure out what pace you want to work this business and what your goals are. And realistically, when can you work this business so you're not going to get overwhelmed or burn out? And the reason I put this in the first week, and it's one that I continue to talk about because our seasons of life are constantly changing. I've worked this business from having, a toddler and then adding another one. So I've had like a newborn. I've moved twice while working this business. Just many different seasons of life. And I have worked it, or I've known people who have worked it, and maybe other different kinds of seasons. So I can understand and I can relate on how it's easy to get burnout and overwhelmed and you just want to quit, especially when things get tough. So that's why this one is probably one of the most important parts of this training this week that you are going to find, as long as you actually apply it and stick to it based on the season of life that you're in. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what your goal is. So maybe your goal for working this business is you just want to cover the cost of your Shakeology. That's your goal. You're like, the discount's great, but I still need to figure out if I could make enough money to cover, like just break even on the expenses. That would be awesome. Maybe your goal right now is to add a couple extra $100 a month to your family's income. So you can start paying off debt, or you can start saving up money for a vacation, or you want to pay your cell phone bill with Beachbody. Maybe that's one of your goals. Whatever it is, you need to figure out what success looks like to you right now. Sorry, I feel like like you ever feel like you have like a hair just like on your skin and you can't figure out where to, that just happened. So figure out what your goals are. Right now, kind of short term, you don't have to look ahead a year from now. Just what do you hope to achieve within the first few months of working your business, the first maybe 2 or 3 months of working this business? What do you hope to achieve? I want you to write that down in the comments below. I also want you to tell me kind of how much time realistically in this season of life that you're in can you devote to working on the vital behaviors we talked about yesterday. So now you may be saying, oh, okay, like I can do an hour a day, or I can do a couple hours. Like, okay, I get that. And I appreciate your enthusiasm. But before that you can decide that and determine that, we need to look at a few things. First, what are your top 3 to 5 priorities right now going on in your life? So for instance, my top priorities right now are my family, and that includes my husband taking care of my kids and taking care of all the household, cleaning, laundry, all that, taking care of the house. That's a priority. My business, my Beachbody business, is a priority of mine. And then, excuse me. And then my husband and I are super involved in our church. And so that's a priority of mine as well. Those are probably my top 3 priorities that I have. And so you need to identify what is important to you right now. Maybe you are a stay-at-home mom, and so your family is up there because that is your full-time job. Or maybe you have a full-time job working 40, 50, 60 hours a week outside of the home. Or you do other type of work from home. You're a freelancer. You do kind of odd jobs for people around. Whatever that is, family is a priority. Maybe it's community and your friendships. Like, there is no judgment. You figure out what your priorities are. This may mean, and I highly encourage it, talk to your spouse about it. Like, what do they see as priorities for you? Because it can either go one of two ways. Your spouse is either super supportive and super on board with you being a Beachbody coach, or they're a little apprehensive and a little hesitant and they don't really think it's that serious. That was my husband at the beginning. So talk with them and kind of decide together, what are your top 3 to 5 priorities right now? Now, how much time do those take up? Because if those are your priorities, anything else comes second. So if your priorities are, like, for instance, if mine are family, including the house and everything, Beachbody business, and the church. If somebody asks me to watch their kids for an afternoon, like, I might not have anything going on that day that, like, I may not have to run errands or whatever else. But if my other priorities aren't met, like if I know that I'm behind on laundry, or my kids like have just been a little unruly, or I know that like my Beachbody business is going really awesome right now and I've got a ton of follow-ups that I need to do, things like that. If those aren't taken care of first, then you need to give yourself permission to say no thank you to the things that come second. As awesome as they sound and as much as you want to do them, learning to say no is okay. You need to give yourself the freedom and the permission to do that. Okay, so what does your week look like? 80% of the time, what does it look like based on those priorities? If you're working a full-time job, then I want you to write it down, like day to day, what does it look like? I get up at this time, I work out at this time, I usually clean house on this day, or I do laundry on this day, or my kids have to go here, here, and here on these days. What does it look like? And I want you to write it down, because if you can physically see it, then you'll be able to say, okay, I probably have an extra hour in here, but my day is so busy, I need that time to just sort of sit and relax. You need to give yourself permission to do that too. So look at your schedule and say, okay, if working this business and your goal is to at least cover the cost of your Shakeology within the first couple months of your business, then you need to make sure that you're devoting at least 30 to 60 minutes a day. It doesn't have to be in one sitting. It can be split up in 10, 15-minute increments throughout your day, or a 30-minute session here, a 30-minute here. Whatever it looks like for you that fits your schedule the best. Pencil it in, know it's there. But let me tell you this. If your goal is to cover the cost of your Shakeology, or to produce some sort of income within the first few months for your family through Beachbody, then it has to be a priority. Meaning, there have to be things that you do every single day in order to move your business forward. Do you have to reach out to 10 people every single day if your schedule doesn't allow for it? No. That's what's so awesome about this business, is that you go at the pace, you set your pace. Me and your upline, we go the same pace with you, however fast or however slow you want to go. It's okay. So basically, the point of this is that in order to get organized before we can move into these action steps and applying these vital behaviors, you need to know when you are going to work your business. You need to basically have office hours, uninterrupted, focused time. If you can have uninterrupted, like a solid chunk of time every single day, whether it's 1 hour at a time, or like I said, you've broken it up, even if you're focused for just 15 minutes, I promise you, through this training, you will find that you can get way more done, and it's way more productive than if you were to just try to multitask and try to do this business while your kids are climbing all over you. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. So find out what those times are, and then we're going to get organized. That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. We're going to get organized, and I'm going to give you action steps for what to do during these focused business times. So what I want you to do, here's your action step for today. What I want is for you to comment below with what your goal is just a short-term goal within the first, 2 to 3, even 6 months of working this business. What do you want to achieve? And then tell me, what time do you have blocked out every day? It may look different every day. It may, like, Mondays, you may have a solid hour in the mornings that you can work your business. And then on Tuesdays, they're so busy, you might have 30 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here. What does it look like throughout your week? How much time can you devote? And what time slots are you going to commit to work your business consistently? That's the key word, consistently. And we'll talk about that more tomorrow. So that's what I want to see in the comments below from you guys. Pretty simple, pretty easy, but it is going to take a little bit of work on your part to actually know what your schedule is realistically, making sure that you put in your priorities, taking care of yourself, your family, maybe a job, loved ones, whatever those are. So anyway, I'd love to know if you guys have any questions so far, and get ready, because we are going to start applying a lot of this stuff, and you guys are going to be working towards those goals that you guys are going to mention below. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. See ya.